Hello, everyone. My presentation was originally intended to present it yesterday morning, but due to some kind of flight delay, so it comes now. So thank you very much for organizer to take all the effort to change the order, and thank you for the everyone that supports me, that I can finally can give a presentation now. So okay, my presentation is called Latin Script Revisited, Issues on Identification of a Script. So today, is it okay? Okay. Let's explain today's outline. First, I have summarized the existing definition of the concept called script, and second, and I will give the kind of criteria how to identify a script, please. It's kind of, I can't find the correct terminology for this kind of thing. So if you know how to correctly or professionally call it, please tell me. And three, and then I'm going to I'm going to examine the Latin script. It's really a single script based on my criteria, and four, kind of discussion and conclusion. So, okay, sorry, please bear with me. And first, what is a script? And the definition of this script, and you may know the at least some of you may know there is a concept called script in kind of writing system studies that is roughly defined in some of literature and some not, and the literature defines the term script. It's just like just giving this kind of definition. And first, the Unicode Consortium in its glossary says a script is a collection of letters and other written signs used to represent textual information in one or more writing systems. Then the famous Kuma's writing system book says the term script is reserved for graphic form for the unit of writing system, blah, blah. And then there are some more ones like Sprout and the computational, I forget the full title, but the Sprout 2000 says a script is a just set of distinct marks conventionally used to represent the written form of one or more languages. And then going to Kuma's 1996 is a encyclopedia of the writing system, as I remember. It says is giving the definition. One, in the study of writing, the graphic form of the writing system. And then Rogers and rethinking writing. Rogers, the writing system, a linguistic approach, says the script, a general term for writing system without regard for its structural nature. So, in summary, I can just summarize the script. It's a set of graphical forms used in writing systems. So this is a very rough and basic definition I take. So before proceeding, let's just preview quickly definition of writing system. Writing system, I don't think it's a kind of very controversial. It's just rules translate forms to language. This kind of thing is writing system. And please take note that some researchers have different use of terminology. Like Harris said, has two terms, notation and script. The notation, it's in his terminology, the notation is more like what I said, the script, because he says that a notation may serve as a basis for more than one scripts, or and serve to articulate any number of different writing systems. And he said the script is the typical range of forming and processing activity, including dealing with letters, numerals, syllables. So his script is more like writing system, and his notation is more like script, other researchers says. But his definition is more like, due to his integrational linguistics theory, it's more complicated. But for now, it's like I just introduced that when you read Harris's book, the notation is my script. And there's Daniels and Bright, the world's writing systems, has another kind of peculiar terminology. And in short, the orthography is, other researchers says, writing system. And writing system and script are equivalent and correspond to script. So, and of course, some researchers doesn't mention or define those terms. For example, Daniels 2, 2008, or DeFrancis, Sampson's. Despite I see those alphabets or scripts or writing systems, those kind of words, but I can't find the clear definitions in those books. Please correct if I'm wrong. So that's the basic definition of script. So let's go into the relatively main topic. So some of you may have the impression that from my not relatively extended abstract that I'm going to question the concept of script, question the definition, or necessity or that kind of script, but I don't do that. I just take the previous definition of the script, and on the basis of that, I'm going to look into the there typically those following the definition of script in existing literatures always accompanied with some kind of exemplification, like the Roman script or the Chinese script or Roman, Syriac, Greek, Russian, well, blah, blah, these scripts. So my question is that, do they really exist as a one solid monolithic concept? I'm not questioning the general idea of the script, but instead those Roman or Syriac or those things are really deserve the name of script. And so first, let's talk about what the nature of this script. In the previous definition, I only said the graphical forms, the graphical set. Is this something ethic or ethic that is universally perceived kind of concept, or just within the system and only can be interpreted within those systems, that kind of concept? Let's look into some example. It's kind of older logo of a famous organization called NASA. And both A doesn't have any bar. And we still expect to read these letters as NASA, because it was once the official logo of NASA, so it is expected everyone can read it as NASA. But you see, this shape is just like a Greek lambda, and it means the script is a kind of not has universal kind of distinctive feature, but only works within a system, predefined those kind of rule set. And another one, can you read it? Someone, please. Oh, okay, thank you. You are correct. And Japanese people, typical Japanese people, when see this first words, it very looks like common and katakana, and have to baffled with the unintelligible string of kind of katakana or some kind of corrupted kanji, or so. It means it looks many typefaces have the kind of pseudo Asian or pseudo Indian or pseudo Hebrew kind of this taste of typefaces, but we can still those who understand Latin script still can read for these letters for Latin script kind of understanding system. So we can conclude the script is an emic system. That means like predefines a kind of rule set to interpret that kind of system. So every script has every different distinct those features, and the script is interfacing with the raw graphical shapes with the writing systems, and whether the writing system includes script or not, we are just putting aside, and just say the writing systems use from a script. So it's kind of the some multiple. If you are going to consider it in the phonetical language, it's kind of multiple languages share a phonological system, but there isn't really many research about it in the oral language. So let's make how to identify or distinguish scripts from other. So that's what I first should do. And fortunately, Harris has some kind of hint of this. He says a criteria of notation that has each member of the set has a specific form and sets it apart from all others, and between any two members there is either a relation equivalence or relation priority, that kind of things. And he also says membership of the set is closed. This is kind of controversial, but so my criteria is like some organized like this kind. A script is consistent and differentiable with other script. It requires to meet the conditions that it has the same repertoire, same size of repertoire, and has the same boundary. Where to distinguish those members. And maybe the third one is kind of iffy, but has the same set of the interrelationship among these members. So let's use those criteria to evaluate the Latin script. And why Latin script is that one reason is that Rogers in his book explicitly tell the Latin script is a one concept. It's a one solid concept. He says these local forms were always considered to be formed of the single Roman alphabet, and Western Europe maintained a sense of cultural unity which preserved the Roman alphabet intact. Intact in monolithic. So let's examine his saying. So Latin script inventory, of course, many alphabets has different size of letter inventories, but I believe the Unicode Consortium's definition says the script, every writing system is just using the different subset of the same script. And this is a possibility to maintain its oneness. Or there can be a minimal set, essential set to be a Latin script. There is such possibility. So let's examine the first choice, the maximum Latin repertoire. So Latin alphabet writing system that allegedly using the Latin script has many different diverse letters, such as from A, B, C, D, E to this kind of ligatures or some amended characters. So here's a question that extension. So if you include some of the more basic characters and more rare characters, and there is a question that extension, is it using some kind of very common letters in Latin script and using other rare characters? Is this new character, new writing system uses Latin or some kind of foreign scripts, like or can it be differentiated with some Cyrillic extended repertoire or something? Or you can say the Cherokee, it's kind of example, the Cherokee fonts. It contains many homographs with the Latin script. So can it be reasonably distinguished? The Cherokee script is not Latin script. How do you say it's kind of problem? Or if you just take all existing Latin script using writing system, and if you extract all the collection of letters from that, and you define this is the maximum set of the Latin. So I make a new writing system that use one character not in existing set. So is this a Latin character or not? It's kind of very philosophical question, but it's very difficult to define it this way. So let's change to the second choice to find the essential set of the Latin script. Okay, let's try with the Wikipedia, this Wikipedia chart, which I believe is very exhaustive. So let's try from top and bottom. And it involves 81 writing systems. You'll find only 2 letters are actually common in all those writing systems. So only 2 letters are truly shared among those, and systems. So if you take this as a minimal requirement to be Latin, then the Russian alphabet is welcome in Latin script family. So it won't work either. So, and let's examine the distinctive features. It's kind of, it involves very kind of any systematic distinction that I'm not sure it is can be 100% sure of the script problem, or it can be writing system problem. So I think these examples are, I think, the safest example can be attributed to the script matter. And the example one is a Dutch script. The left red square showing a kind of letter resembles to, in English mindset, like a Y kind of shapes, but it's actually equivalent to the IJ digraph. The status of IJ digraph is controversial too, but at least if you see this shape and think it is Y, it's not the way when you see things in Dutch mindset or Dutch script on the Dutch alphabet mindset. So it has a difference. So it doesn't agree with some. And Turkish alphabet, everyone knows that Turkish has dotted I and dotless I, but it can be a problem of writing system, or just dotless I and dot I are two different distinct inventory items, and we just use it. We just use and interchangeably. So now my example is about the uppercase J. And the Turkish adults, many Turkish adults put dot above the uppercase J too. So it's kind of very paradigm and shifted paradigm, not just the orthography, because orthographically the Turkish J is not with dot. So it's just, but many of them conceptualizes the dot with a kind of independent element, so that they write the lowercase j with dot. So uppercase J is also dotted. This kind of thinking. It's very different from the alphabets elsewhere. So, and the other features like casing and collation order are also diverse. So can maintain the the consistency, consolidation, or that kind of. So, and also I kind of like to question the diachronic variation, was traditionally thought merely stylistic according to those literatures, or the historical Latin script has many repertoire change, and I versus J or U versus V, or recently also uppercase estet, like kind. So is it really stylistic, or like kind of allograph, or those kind of allomorph? So this is example the typographer Akira Kobayashi has found in Frankfurt shop. Maybe some of you notice something is wrong or not. It's the it's actually not K transformed. So whoever made this banner already doesn't know how to read, how to distinguish the fractal shapes. The correct K is in this font is this kind of. So it's very resembled to who doesn't know the script read the foreign script. It's kind of imported some kind of Japanese plastic model. It's very notorious for wrong Japanese letters usage, and they mixed up hiragana with katakana. And in this, what I'm showing is shi actually should be re in katakana, and fu katakana should be tsu hiragana, and it's kind of mixing up. So this that kind of fractal problem is very resembled to this kind of foreign. Actually, fractal is kind of foreign script for today's eyes, for at least some people. So Latin script revisited has the same, and the inventory explains every Latin script system cannot exclude non-Latin system. And boundaries criteria, some systems have different distinct criteria. So internal relationship is provided they belong to the concept script, the relation network is also diverse. So the discussion is what the Latin script really is. Is it useful notion in gʁafematik research? I propose to call it genetic abstraction, like in the historical linguistic, the family or division or that kind of cluster, will be much better for explaining this whole formally called Latin script concept. And this discussion is also applicable to other major scripts like Cyrillic or Chinese or those kind of. And okay, it's kind of, yes. Yes, so please beware of cultural interference. So this is my conclusion. The Latin script is problematic, being formally conceived as a single script according to current usage. Current use range of Latin script may be better understood as a genealogical cluster or some kind of macro script. Re-examining traditional given units of concept is re-examining them is needed for theorization of writing systems. Thank you for attention.
Yeah, thank you very much.